for the recap. Yes. When we last saw the party, they chose to quickly visit the moneylender, where they met a man named Liam who owned and ran the establishment. He seemed uninterested in Mogul, but not entirely unaware, and expressed his misgivings with religion as a whole. With little else to do, and eager to see who they might find, the group made their way to the Dewdrop Inn to sign up for their fisticuffs tournament. While the three who signed up lost their fights, they did manage to score a bit of information, namely in overhearing some discouraging situations with local farmers and the destruction of their property and loss of livestock. Safine also made the rounds, attempting to discern who she might recognize from Elazar's descriptions in his letter. She met a trio of the name Mercy, Silas, and Daisy, and seemed rather comfortable with them, comfortable enough to rest her battered head on Mercy's lap after a particularly rough loss. She also spoke with a fellow fighter, a dwarven man by the name of Tam, and discovered he was the grandson of Gusti, leader of the Fireforge clan based in Hollowbell. They then took a nice rest. When the group went to Bunmore the following morning, they were met by unexpected hostility. Angered by the exchange, the party exchanged words before Remember stalked out of the city in the direction of the farms. It didn't take long for them to find what they were looking for, although not without injury, and they quickly razed the goblin encampment they found in the forest. They then found a curiously buried treasure, a tiny hatchling, big enough only to puff and hiss. Upon return to town, the group rested before they sought out the Lord Commander the following morning. The meeting with him, Una, and the Lady Commander was tense as they brought forth the information they had sent for recently. Their revelations that a shipment of the stones had been sent to Berlide and Tardodith was accompanied too by Una's unease that her brother, Oak, sent a message stating that trouble was brewing in Garan. After several hours of discussions and bouncing ideas back and forth, the party declared they would head for Garan to find Oak and hopefully put a significant dent in whatever Mogul might be starting. Word was then sent to Adgord, Berlide, and Tardodith, warning of the influx of the gemstones and the havoc they were liable to cause. And then, unsure of what this decision might bring, they slept. We begin with Safine standing before a pot, slick with violet, iridescent liquid. A sweet fragrance lifts from it, disguising its potency. The rest of the party stands with her, looking on. Already a vial of the poison has been filled by Lavend, called for the occasion so that a foreigner would not be unjustly charged. She passes the vial to Wilcom and Porgos, who pale and nod. The trio of betrayers guiding them nod, and together they go to serve Fiona justice. Lavend looks at the remains of the poison. I leave this to you to handle safely. Please make sure that no one will ever use that pot to cook with. With that, she leaves, and the four of you are left in the Great Hall's bustling servants' quarters. Sorry. That a bird? Bummer.
The way it goes. It is.
Sorry, gonna destroy that pot.
It is the morning of Fiona's execution. And you all have made your plan to head to Quran and take today as your preparation day. And so it is mid-morning. Meals have been served. The servants are currently just going about their duties for the day. And we start off from there.
What's going on?
Look, I need it. The player's hand.
Oh, I thought you were saying plate, and that was not what you said. I was really confused.
Sorry. I didn't want to interrupt your audio talking stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, I was like, my Red Bull is $3.
Came back and it determined she was alive.
Survey says.
Lying.
Oh.
Y'all are all so cold.
Now I am warm.
Okay, I don't know what happened, but we went from the extreme of being like, nothing's cold here, you all just can't handle cold, and now we're like, very Floridian and we can't do cold.
I remember Reagan always making these weird offhanded, like, I'm not from Florida, but now I can't tell the difference.
I was born here.
Ooh, yeah.
Don't cite the deep magic to me, witch. I was there when it was written. Hold on. We should probably play D&D.
find out
But we were eating Vietnamese.
I thought you were American. We have a lot of preparation to do before we can leave this country.
I kind of wanted to watch how it took effect.
Ooh, nasty.
I have to make sure my recipes are good, otherwise, who will hire me?
You incredibly nasty.
Well, I don't think we're going to be leaving right away. We could check back later if you need.
I would like to visit Eliza. I think he has possibly some spell books that I would like to look at and maybe learn from.
Same.
Yes, I think we should see if we can get a map and some information about where we're going.
Honestly, God, I had not thought about buying a map until this exact moment. I thought we were just gonna like leave town and it would be fine.
Oh, see, did you just plan for us to shop today, or are we capable of leaving?
You can do whatever you like.
Ooh.
Yeah, I've like prepared stuff for if you stayed in town.
Okay.
I have prepared stuff for if you choose to leave. So,
I
as always, it's up to you.
Good. Okay, just making sure, because sometimes I know we go like yeehawing out of here, and you're like,
The world is our oyster.
Oyster. Thank you, Mr. Krabs.
I would like to check to see if Sophia is alright, because I have all those tools from the goblins that I'd like to try and sell before we leave. And she wasn't there, and I have a feeling that she might have been involved. My accent is really weird right now.
You're gonna be fine, bud.
She might have been involved with the sparkling speg bite.
Can you all go ahead and put your people on the Great Hall just so that I can see where you're hanging out?
The Little Mermaid.
Okay.
I'm just gonna put
Damn it, I should have
remember.
gotten a bag of ice.
Sorry.
I'm just gonna put remember on top of a D6 and then we'll be fine. There we go. Now it's accurate.
Nice.
That's so sad.
Oh my god, that makes me very happy actually. I'm very pleased with that.
All right. So, like I said, it's roughly mid-morning. So things are definitely starting to actually happen and be awake and aware.
Bustling.
Where have we not gone?
Everywhere. We went to like 3 places.
We haven't gone to the Weaver.
Ooh, a weaver!
Yeah.
Clothing.
Get some blankets.
You are going
Oh,
to need...
I'm gonna need to be like
Chill.
drab.
You are going to need
Drab.
to
Us commoners would say typical, but drab is fine.
be... I would not be opposed to going to the weavers. We will need new clothes going to Giron anyway.
Since we're at the Grey Hall, can I go and ask somebody about Sophia?
Yeah, you
Oh, there's a
can.
table.
You can speak to a betrayer. There's, so as you guys go ahead and you leave the servants' quarters and you kind of maneuver your way back into the main entrance of the Great Hall, there's betrayers stationed at their posts. There's some going back and forth. You see them, changing their shift. You see some heading into the barracks at the back, and you do see a couple that are just standing around.
I have a question. How long, when is the execution happening, and how long would that roughly take?
It depends really on your poison and her constitution, and they're like heading there now. That's where they went to take the vial.
I would assume a bystander's going with them, right?
They have a trio
Witnesses.
of betrayers.
Okay, I'm gonna ask one of them to write down notes for me.
Did you ask them that before they left then?
That's what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and I'll give him like a silver.
Okay.
And just ask him to write down some basic notes for me so I can make sure
Mm-hmm.
that it's doing what it's supposed to do.
While we're passing the betrayers, Tamsin's just gonna stop and ask one of them. Do either of you know if Sophia, if something has happened to her, do you know of her, from the blacksmith?
I am familiar with her work.
I just asked because I stopped by her shop to sell some goods, and she wasn't there, which was unusual, so I didn't know if somebody would know.
She doesn't have much in the way of family here that I'm aware of. If it's something that you think is a concern, we could send someone to go check and make sure she's alright.
I don't think that's necessary right now. No, perhaps she had just closed shop early.
Most likely.
Okay, well, thank you.
Alright.
And at the wrong time.
And they kind of salute and then head back.
So, what is everybody's plan? My accent's gonna be all over the place, guys.
Just do your best.
I'm just letting y'all know ahead of time.
My goal is to go to somebody that can make me. Oh God, I gotta go to the tailor then. But Gaspamon's not there, right?
We haven't gone to the Weaver yet.
But is the Weaver gonna be able to make me a hood with a closed-off hood?
Yeah, probably.
DM? Question mark.
You can go ask them.
Ah. All right, fine. We'll go to the Weaver, and then I want to go to Elazar's.
Field trip.
Is there a book? The
I think we all want
bookstore.
to go to the Weaver.
I need to go to the bookstore too.
Well, there's a book binder. There is
Damn
an
it, I
actual
forgot.
store.
All right, Elazar's it is.
There's nowhere to find.
Do rhinoceroses? Rhinoceri? Do I need to prep my rhinoceros for our journey? I don't know. I don't really know anything about the rhinoceros.
Uh-huh.
I just decided that I wanted to have one, and I have not done any research about the care and keeping of. I don't know what I'm supposed to do with him going forward. Does he need... He doesn't need armor. He's cool. Does he need, like, stuff?
I mean, I don't know. The way that I was just going to do it is that instead of just getting, like, rations for the horses and stuff like that, horses
There's
are
a
able to just
boarding
kind of
school.
graze. Your rhino's not going to be able to graze so much. So you'll have to actually purchase exotic rations is what I have them written down as,
Leave
where you
behind
go
the body.
until you're, like, in Brelead. And then that will be a thing where they're just able to, like, graze and stuff.
Leave Gabodi with Jimmy.
I'm honestly considering it, because, like, it was super fun for the initial part, but, like,
But
we're gonna go...
genuinely, if we go to Tardota,
Yeah,
he will die.
I can't take a rhinoceros with me.
Yeah.
So it was really sick for the first leg, but I think I might leave him with Jimmy. But
Before
then
you
I'll
die.
just walk, because there's no way I can get a horse that's big enough.
Clydesdale.
Yeah, you can.
Oh my god, where can I get a Clydesdale? Is there not a rookery, that's where they keep the birds.
Is that where they play chess?
Stables, would, John have spare, like, draft horse?
You can ask him.
I'll exchange.
No, I would know how many horses he has on the farm and if they're, like, working horses or not.
You haven't spent a lot of time there, to be fair.
Also,
Counterpoint, remember, has spent the most amount of time on the farm out of anybody in the
But
party.
you also don't know if he's willing to sell them.
Well, it's true, but I would know, like, if he has horses that are capable of traveling.
Trying to remember if I put
So, plan of action. All of you guys want to go to the
John
Weaver?
probably wouldn't have
Why not the tailor?
horses that
Treason.
he probably wouldn't have enough in the way of horses that he can just sell them
Yeah.
for transport. Like
I
you'd
wanna
have to either speak to like one of the farms or see if maybe the inns have horses that they're willing to part with. That sort of thing.
Where the hell am I gonna get a Clydesdale?
I want to stop
They're
by the
pretty common.
blacksmith again to see,
Oh, are they in this
Sophia's
fantasy
stuff
world?
is
I
there.
mean, typically.
Okay, good.
and I want to try and sell those weapons so I have a little bit of extra coin to spend.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and star swipe out of the golden square because everyone is kind of like heading out that way anyway. And you realize as you head out of the golden square and you head into the silver circle, you can hear music, and you can hear a lot of general chatter. You hear a scattering of applause, and it is actually coming from the southern area of, southeast area of Residency Row. So, like, this area over here.
We should go investigate the noise.
Can I want to go investigate the noise?
Alright, so is that where y'all are heading then?
Yeah, I didn't know.
I don't know.
Since you
Yeah,
set
and
it up
is this
so
the thing
nicely.
that you wanted us to go towards? The thing that you mentioned and like...
The poison for Cusco. Cusco's poison.
That poison?
As you follow the trail, you follow people who are wearing their, not quite their finest, but like better clothes. You can see performers.
Localized way to do this. Nice.
You can see performers. You can see that people have set up food stalls. You see people advertising that the Dewdrop has rooms, that they're willing to have multiple people in rooms if people need it. And you realize that this is
A beer.
the monthly market.
A farmer's market!
I don't have enough people. That this is the monthly market of
We'll know what you mean.
White Flag.
Or make the bear.
A person?
The bear's a person.
No, the bear is a performing bear.
The bear's a bear.
Like a platypus bear?
Nope, just a bear.
It's a bear.
Weird. Oh, I'm so proud of you.
I've been trying. Alright, so you guys go ahead and you find yourselves at the monthly market of White Flag.
Hey babe, what season did that come from?
That came from Cora.
Coaching.
No, incorrect.
That wasn't Cora?
No, it wasn't Cora.
Hey, at least she's gotten it, okay?
Hmm?
Oh no, you're right. I was confusing it with Cora's polar bear dog.
I would like to look
Great.
around.
Where do we come in from? Which side are we coming in from?
You would come in from over in this area
Okay.
because that is the Dewdrop. So on the map where the Dewdrop kind of is hanging out.
We'll throw our guys over here.
Alright. So you have people who are performing, you have magicians, you have various merchants that have set up little tents.
Do I see? This is very important.
Oh no.
Do I see any books?
You do not.
Damn it.
Nerd. Is there a place where they're frying stuff on a stick?
Yes, it would be that one over there.
I want that. This one?
Yep, that one right there.
Okay, remember goes to buy stuff that's fried on a stick.
Okay. And there is a half-elf woman who is frying just a lot of everything. There's cuts of meat that are hanging up. There's jerky that's tied off into bundles. There's all kinds of stuff going on here. And she looks over at you as she like drops more into this bubbling vat of oil. And what can I help you with?
Finally, civilized food. I need the biggest cut of meat that you have.
Do you want it fried or do you just want it cooked?
Fried. What are we? This is.
And
there's
then
only fried-
she turns and she just like, one of this like leg that's hanging there, she just like uses a cleaver and lops off half of it. And she batters it up real quick and dumps it in the fryer. And alright, 2 silver.
Good, perfect. Happily hands over the silver.
Okay.
Remember, we're just gonna walk around eating a comedically huge lamb shank for the rest of the day. That's cute.
Sorry, what did you say?
I was just clearing my throat.
Do I see anybody that looks like they deal with like weapons that might be interested in buying some?
Yes,
I
I
know
should
it's-
have done this. I did not have the time for it. That's supposed to be a sword. It's fine. You've got swords over here and other various weapon things. Excuse me, babe.
Guys, do I pick freaking cure wounds or do I pick spiritual weapon for my spell list?
You've got some clothes,
You have any other way to heal us?
I mean, higher levels.
random
okay.
stuff over here.
Spiritual weapon.
This is gonna be fried stuff.
Nice. It is now.
This one over here is more like bread things. pastries and the like. This one is also rando. And then this one is, yeah, I had that. Okay. And it just says, ooh.
Ooh, spooky.
That one's gonna be like spell components and stuff like that.
Ooh. After everybody else has had a chance to do whatever they want to do, since I went first, I want to go see what's at the weird stall. Not the woo stall, but like the one that just has random stuff.
Okay.
The thrift store.
Clothes, please. Okay. Head on over there.
Movie shit. That's what we have miniatures for.
Oh, okay, that didn't work.
I was gonna get tape to attach Remember to her.
I'm gonna go with you because I need to get a cloak that I'm gonna get tailored.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm trying to pay gas for mom prices.
Small
you know.
business.
Shop local.
Alright, so you're greeted by a dwarven woman wearing just heaps upon heaps of skirts, and she has this corset cinching her into like a wasp waist and red and graying hair bound back in a really tight braid. And she looks up at you and, morning, how can I help you fine ladies?
Good morning, my dear. Do you happen to know anything about the fashion in Garam?
This would be the fashion of Garon. And then she like gives you a little twirl and I'm Ansla. It's nice to meet you. I live in Scrabcaster most of the time.
That is wonderful to hear. I don't know how observant you are, Angela, but I have some things that maybe would not go over very well in Garam, and I'm looking to fit in a little bit more.
It's not that it wouldn't go over well. You just stick out like the sorest thumb that they've ever seen. Right then. So you're looking for something a little bit less and a little bit tighter. You can't do much in that, can you?
Excuse you, I can do wondrous things.
Can you garden?
Do I need to garden?
People in Garan do. All right.
Do
No, I
visitors
see.
to go?
And
Just
it's fine. It's
Just
fine.
because I visit Tardot, it does not mean that I make poison there. I don't understand what this comparison is.
The comparison, never mind. You're lovely. Your clothes are lovely. It's not gonna work. Right. What size? And she like drags over a stool and then just snaps the measuring tape out of her pocket and immediately just starts like figuring out your measurements. As she looks over to Safine and what is it that you're looking for?
Just a simple cloak with a hood.
I have got a couple of those. That selection over there, and she's got like a couple that are like draped over a rope.
Because she still has his on her like hips, so she's
Yeah.
gonna just like kind of open the lid a little bit and then look at the hoods and be like, and, like put her hand up next to like, you're this size, so this needs to be this size. She just keeps going back and forth doing this weird like gesture.
She's like taking down Angerod's measurements and like looking over, and she's. Are you looking for one of a certain size?
Kind of. It's a special circumstance.
What kind of special circumstance? And she like hops down off the stool and comes up to you, and she's like got Angerod's stuff in hand.
I have a ferret,
Oh, all right.
Good.
and he's not very friendly, so I like to keep him in my. Well, I'm trying to train him to stay in my hood so that he doesn't disturb the peace.
So what if I give you a hood that's like leather lined then? It'll take me a bit longer to get it set up, but it'll be a bit sturdier in case you start scratching.
I just look at Angrad and I'm like, yeah, all right.
All right. And she like rifles through the cloaks and just like drags this really heavy woolen brown one down, and it has a huge hood. And she holds it up to you, and she's, yeah, I'll head the bottom and line it with leather, and that'll be about 12 silver. Should have it done by later this afternoon.
Do you make alterations then?
I can hem the bottom, and it's not quite so long, and what else?
Could I put like a covering over the top so that there's just like a little peek hole out?
Be
for me?
15 silver then.
Well, that's fine.
Yeah, I can manage that.
Perfect. My
Right.
ferret will be pleased, I think.
All right. And then she looks over at Angron and she's, so are you looking for a whole new wardrobe or are you looking for parts?
We are traveling, it will be maybe a month, so but most of our traveling will be on the road. Maybe 3 good outfits.
Just 3.
And she's like, I can do three full outfits then.
I mean, you'll have to make them fabulous. In the Garan style, which is...
Oh no.
You'll have to make them Garanian.
I'll have to make them useful and muted is what I'm having to do.
Yes.
Yes. Maybe put a little something shiny on the inside of a sleeve. That way she can look at it every once in a while.
If you're willing to pay, I can reverse a corset. You can wear it inside, wear it outside.
I would be very interested in that.
Secretly, there's like an underground thing in Garan where everyone's like secretly got exchangeable clothing and like no one knows.
Alright, for you it's gonna run you about 8 gold.
I'm trying to figure out how much money I actually have. Hold on. It's fine, regardless. That is fine.
Alright, so 8 gold for the 3 outfits and then 15 silver for your altered cloak.
I only have 13 silver. What is the exchange rate from silver to gold?
I'm pretty sure that we did 20.
Okay, I'll just give her a gold.
Okay.
Here's a gold. If you find anything fancy to put into it, I mean, subtle. Hidden fancy, you know.
Alright, I can do that. You be back by this afternoon and I'll probably have your things delivered to you in the morning. Where are you staying?
We are staying at the farm still, right?
Yeah, at the farm.
We are staying at the farm where
Jimmy's.
John.
Which
Jimmy
John's
John.
farm.
I'm not from around here. Which gate is that out of?
I think we're the eastern gate. West, northern.
It's
we're
from
the
the North
northern
Gate, y'all. Come on.
She really has
I
spent
didn't even
the
take
most time.
notes.
I take notes, that's why I don't remember this shit. It is out of the northern gate.
Alright, I'll have someone drop it by in the morning then.
Thank you very much.
I mean, I always remember.
Ew.
Ooh.
It was 8 gold pieces, you said?
Who is it with all
Yeah.
the dad jokes?
I gotta give you a run for your money. I like your response was just ew.
Okay. Yeah. So that's going to be 3 changes of clothes.
Yeah.
However you would put that into your inventory.
Ugly.
And 1 reversible corset.
Hell yeah.
Okay. What is Temzin up to?
Tamsin's gonna go over to the weapons booth
Sneaky sneak.
Okay.
and try to see if this guy's interested in buying some stuff.
Okay.
What do I see as I approach?
You see a couple actually, and they are brunette. They're darker skin, and it's more just tanned than it is just the shade of their skin, though. And they look like they have been working anywhere that there can be sun, except they have the brightest green eyes you've ever seen. And as you approach with your load of weapons, one of them looks over and he kind of like props up these swords that he's got that someone's currently looking at, and he approaches you and, can I help you?
Yes, I was wondering, I know you're here to sell, but I was wondering if you're interested in buying any weapons.
We do a fair amount of trading. We're interested in some more unique weaponry. What is it that you're offering?
Well, I have some scimitars, a javelin, and some short bows.
Most of those are fairly common, but
Yes, I have quite a few though, and I was looking to.
how many is quite a few?
Well, I have 7 scimitars, and 5 short bows, and only 1 javelin.
That I'm
The
all
head
carrying at the same
ringling.
time.
What?
That I'm all carrying at the same time. Me, a
I have
halfling.
a huge thing. I can carry a lot. And 1 javelin, which was actually possessed by ringleader of the goblins. I just casually throw that
And-
in there.
The other guy comes over and he throws his arm over his shoulder and you've got a javelin.
Indeed, I do. And a bunch of other stuff, as I was saying.
And the one nudges the other and he's, I think Nick would be interested in that javelin. And he's, yeah, he might be. You said that came from the leader of the goblins.
It did indeed. I killed him myself.
Now, is this a story like leader of all goblins, or is this leader of whichever local goblins you had in the area?
The local chapter.
Listen, I don't know. I didn't stop to talk to him. I just killed him. But he was bigger than all the others. He was the only one with the javelin.
Alright, well, here's what I can do. You've got a bit of a lot, and it's going to be hard to sell that many of such a singular item. We'll probably end up melting them down, so how about I give you 4 silver for the javelin, and let's see, you had 7 scimitars?
Correct.
I can give you... How many of those bows did you say?
5.
I can give you 2 gold for the lot.
I did.
2 gold.
You can just write down.
Aye, 2 gold. I'm gonna have to melt it down, and that's going to cost me money. We travel. We don't want a lot of weight on our backs.
Okay, so, see. I was basing their prices off of, like, the item book. Should I not do that?
We haven't been pricing anything off of the item
Okay.
book. I don't have that memorized. I can print that out and start charging you for that.
Please do not that. We are but wee babies who have no money.
Can
I
you
have money, I
do
never buy
5 gold for the lot? This is quite a bit. And I personally had to kill 5 of the goblins to get these.
Give it a rest.
It's Fiend yelling from across
Yep.
the square.
She hears him talking himself up. Shut up!
We can do 3 gold, but that's about as far. I'll give you 15 silver for the javelin alone. Or you can take 3 gold for the lot.
3.5.
3 and 5 silver.
We are gonna be here for the next 45 minutes.
And that's my final offer.
Deal, because I need to get rid of this crap.
And so they start like clearing some space and then just like taking the items and like arranging them
You said
around.
5 silver.
3 gold, 5 silver.
So, oh my god, next time I'm rolling a bard.
Ooh, Shanique R is on their way.
Who is?
Shanique?
Shanique?
Alright. Who is doing what now? So you've got an order in with the seamstress that has come into town.
And there's no books anywhere.
There's no one. There might be something in the 2 stalls that look like they have like some haphazard items going on, but
I'm gonna go over to the woo stall. Can you make
Let's just travel together.
my... Okay.
Oh, I totally forgot I had 40
okay.
arrows.
Remember, it's just gonna like trail behind them with the giant shank.
Okay. So remember is hanging out.
How is it stuck to it?
I put tape on it.
Oh, I didn't see you put tape on it, so I was like...
Okay, so you guys go ahead
Mind
and you
freak.
come upon this stall that is draped in this beautiful dark blue material, and it has little silver stars embroidered over the entire thing, and it over the like a little sign that's kind of been like tied onto the stall simply says spell works.
Ooh, it's like Wonderworks.
So, not to interrupt, but I forgot I also had 40 arrows. Those don't work with a crossbow, correct?
No, those
so
you need crossbow
can
bolts.
can we throw those in
Nah,
and make it a
son.
solid gold piece? So 4
You'll
gold
have
piece
to go
for the
back
40
to them.
arrows.
We're moving on.
Okay.
Ooh.
Okay.
I don't
See, here's the problem. I don't know off the top of my head the components that I need, but I also don't know what I'm going to need once I level and pick up my next spells.
Ask them if they have like a bulk starter pack.
Do you have something that's like a starter pack for, like, say, a 4th level?
Do you just have a bunch of spiders in a jar?
I have that. I don't need to worry
Remember,
about that.
we got
I've
a
been
bunch of
collecting
spiders
them.
that one time.
You got some like ash and maybe a tear.
Who do I see?
You walk in and you see a blonde woman with her hair pulled back into a really long high ponytail. And she is dressed to actually match the tent, except she's got a hood up, so you can't quite tell if she's maybe elven or maybe if she's just a very fair human lady.
Good afternoon.
Hello. How may I help you?
I was simply curious. You seem to have quite a few things here. Take me through a tour. What do you have?
It's not much in the way of a tour. Here I have more of your dried and ground spell components. Here I have more of the liquid things that might need a bit more care. Their jars are specially made so that they won't shatter upon impact. Back here I mostly have plants, hooves, that sort of whole thing in case you prefer to mix something up yourself. Are you looking for anything in particular?
I am not. I am looking in a more general sense. I don't suppose you happen to have actual spell books?
No, I don't have any books. That would be far too heavy.
That is understandable in the midst of all of your glass jars. Do I see anything around that I know that I have used before for my spells?
She definitely has little wooden boxes that you can, like, when you open them and peek in, you can see, like, it's dead spiders. You see a little jar that has, like, what looks, if you shake it, they kind of, like, stick to the sides, and there's an eye on it, so you understand, like, these are eyelashes, and so there's different things like that around. She has, like, a bin of feathers. There are different, materials kind of on different spools. You see one that's fleece, you see one that's silk and stuff like that.
Did we decide how much of the bitumen I use each time I use spider climb?
You use, like, I think we said that there were 10 uses in the jar that you bought.
Okay, I've only used it like once,
Yeah.
but I won't have a chance to get that again. Does she have any of that on hand?
Yeah, you do see that there is a small vial of it.
And how much would this cost, my dear?
That would probably run you the entire vial or a few drops.
The entire vial.
Well,
Actually, you're closer
I
to
can
the
do
door.
I
But
can
I
do
can
the
fund it.
entire vial for 6 silver.
Oh, I forgot I was buying this. Hold on. 6 silver, whole vial. Sure.
Does that sound agreeable?
What?
What is your name, my dear?
This is from Dragon Age, but it's the actual French one.
I'm Celeste.
Celeste. It is wonderful of you. Thank you for.
Oh, you didn't do it on purpose? Okay.
Thank you for running this wonderful establishment. 6 silver sounds perfectly reasonable.
Lovely. You do not happen to have anything that you might be willing to sell or trade, do you?
Do I
don't
have
know.
an extra vial of poison on me?
Probably do.
I was gonna say, I think I would probably. I made a huge thing
Yeah,
of
you
it.
got the
so
poison
I have a
from
couple.
Jenna gave it to you.
Yeah, but we never
Poison, the poison for
talked.
Kuzco.
We never talked about how
Poison.
much of it I got after the fact that I administered.
You
it,
would
though.
probably have 2 additional vials.
Okay, cool. How do you feel about poisons?
Poisons can be useful in the right circumstance.
Oh, she's shiny.
How about a potion that gives you wings?
Stop it. Not sponsored by Red Bull. One day. I just kind of, I remove one vial of it. Some.
She takes it and she looks it over and... Now, what does this do exactly?
Well,
Some may argue that poison is poison. I am not one of those people. The violet color is quite strange.
it is a specialty poison. I'm sure, as you can guess from Tardodith, it administers a slow, painful, cancer-like progression.
So it causes suffering.
Yes, usually used for criminals and the like. Somebody perhaps exacting revenge, or both, in today's case.
Do you mind if I test this very quickly?
On what?
I have a solution that I have made that can help me detect poisons in this.
She was
drink.
very afraid that she was going to pull like a bunny out of somewhere and was like, no! Use it sparingly.
I only need a drop. And then she like takes it over to this little table that she has set up on what is probably a cart that's attached to the back of this tent. And she pulls out a vial of this almost transparent sky blue liquid and drops a little bit of it into a clay bowl, and then takes just a separate dropper and takes a drop of the poison and drops it in, and you see it start foaming and hissing and bubbling, and then it like settles into a murky violet color.
I wouldn't use that bowl for anything else.
Oh no, I had no plan to. Did you have a price in mind for this?
Yes, actually. Hang on, I wrote it down somewhere. I think it cost her 2 gold to make. Do you remember? I don't remember.
We gotta make a return on this investment.
I know. Hold please for me remembering how much it cost to make this.
Oh, remember.
Excuse you.
In the meantime,
$11.
here's...
Yeah, we bought 2 Red Bulls and a Kit Kat. They were like each $4. I'm sorry, hang on 1 second. I legitimately do not remember how much it cost me to make this.
Would you be willing to do a trade?
What do you have?
Well, what sorts of spells do you usually use things for?
Well,
Healing our butts.
typically healing. You wouldn't happen to know anything about comprehend languages, or if I wanted to learn Draconic.
No, I
have to teach
do
sign
have
language to
some.
my sweet boy.
I do have some peppers that can grant you dragon's breath.
Cool.
Or
How much are they?
I would be willing to trade a handful of them as well as a few other items.
Because Sabine, please.
Do you have any healing potions?
No! Too
I
big.
do have a few of them. I would be willing to trade, say, half a dozen of the hot peppers, as well as 1 lesser healing potion.
I would be willing to buy the hot peppers if you do not trade for them.
How about we say 2 lesser and we get 2 peppers?
I'll buy the rest.
Very well then. And she takes the poison and you watch as she very carefully wraps it in this black silk, and she tucks it into a drawer with several other bundles of black silk.
Level C.
And how many hot peppers were you wanting?
All of them. All the ones you have. Okay, when it says dragon fire, it's not, like, I could breathe fire, right?
Well, sort of.
What is it?
Are you a sorceress?
Is that the one that you can learn?
Typically, no. Although, well, wizards are known to use this, as well as druids, and I suppose they do learn some of their spells.
Is it you have to have magic in order for it to breathe, for it to do the fire?
Yes, it's a spell.
I don't understand. You said it was a pepper.
Yes, it's a hot pepper that you use in a spell, and you're able to have dragon's breath.
Shit.
I already have 2. You can practice with those, and if we want to buy more, we can buy
Can
more.
you teach me like one specific brand of magic so I can do this one spell?
I have no idea. Can
that
I
how
teach
that
her how
works?
to?
clerics can't use Dragon's Breath.
Son of a bitch.
It's Druid, Sorcerer, and Wizard.
Ow!
Well, I'll give these to Angrod as a present.
Oh, thank you, darling.
Is
No
there-
kiss.
She just like goes from like realizing she can't use it to just like directly handing it over to Angrod.
And then you will teach me, yes?
I will most certainly try.
Well, I can learn magic. I can learn many things.
Sure.
We'll try it. Well, you should really put a disclaimer on this if you can't just eat it and then breathe fire. It, like the name implies.
You could try eating one if you'd like.
It would be wasteful of the spell.
It's secretly habanero.
Here, let me just... And she, like, takes out this little plant, and you see her clip off half a dozen very small, very slender peppers that are probably half the length of her pinky and, like, a third of the width. And she snips off 6 of these and puts them into a little linen parcel and then puts them into a little wooden box and hands them to Safine.
Which I directly hand to Angrod.
And would you like... I would be very interested to see what would happen to someone who doesn't use magic when they eat. Would you like to eat one?
I mean, my constitution's fucking rad, so, like, yeah. So.
All right. And she, like, snips one off and then hands it to you.
Bottoms the fuck up. Not yet.
Go ahead and roll a Constitution save.
I this is the first time I've done this. Oh shit, that's an 8.
No.
Not good, apparently.
You did +2? Yeah, no, this pepper, like, they have hot food in Burlead. Like, they use a lot of spices. They probably aren't even sure what white bread is, kind of thing. This pepper is fucking insane. Like, you bite it, and it's not really hot when you bite it, and you chew and swallow, and you stand there for probably 0.3 seconds before it gets a little bit hard to breathe. And then a little bit hard to, like, see because your eyes are watering so bad. And your face suddenly feels like someone is holding a flame, like, directly to your skin.
Is there a watering trough that I can comedically dunk my entire head into?
Out at the Dewdrop Inn.
Good. She's gonna run across and then dunk her head into the watering trough.
And so Celeste just, like, peeks open out of the stall and she's, now that is fascinating.
Scribbles things.
Are you alright?
Choking and coughing, lady. Just like she doesn't even stick her head back up, it's just a thumbs up.
And a couple people, like, glance over and, like, mutter because they've just seen this Goliath woman flee from the Spellworks stall. Is there anything else I can help you two ladies with?
Hey, you got some
I
new
don't-
dice.
I don't suppose that you happen to have any means of me learning this spell. I'm unfamiliar with it.
Which? Any new spell?
No, the spell of Dragon's Breath.
I gave her the peppers.
I don't have anything like that on me here. Let me see.
This is a
Will
song.
you
That,
give me just one moment, please?
Absolutely.
this is a song that plays in Dragon
Absolutely.
Age when you make out with your SO.
It's true. It
Fun
is.
fact.
All right. All right. Here it is. And she, like, pulls out her own personal spell book and starts flipping through. And she shows you the spell for Dragon's Breath, which I'm gonna read to you. Did my phone just?
Goodbye, everybody.
Dragon's Breath is a spell that you may use on yourself or someone else. You touch a willing creature, and you pick acid, fire, and I think there's a couple other things that you can pick. But you can actually... Can I see my player's handbook, please?
Remember is going to breathe fire. Remember is going to breathe fire. Remember is going to breathe fire. We gotta go fight something right now. How bad do you think you freak somebody out?
Dude, it does 3d6.
Remember is going to breathe fire. Please sign my change.org petition.
Position.
I was excited so I couldn't remember what the word was.
Also, she's basically just giving you a free spell. So.
Remember is going to breathe fire.
You are welcome.
Sorry, this is taking me a while to find.
I would also like to point out really quickly that when I remember Unearthed from the watering trough, she does in fact do a Little Mermaid hair flip. It just doesn't look as cool.
The Little Mermaid.
I strongly approve of how much Dragon Age has been in this playlist. It's good.
Strong purple.
I can't take credit for that. I just found it.
It's good. You did good. It's a good pick. Because most of the time if you look up Tavern stuff, they're like, The Witcher, The Witcher 2, The Witcher 3, and this one's like Dragon
Yeah.
Age.
Well, that's what I specifically...
So this is a second level transmutation spell. And this can be learned. Yes. Touch a willing creature. Choose acid,
I'm willing.
cold, fire, lightning,
this
or
work?
poison. Until the spell ends, the creature can use an action to exhale energy of the chosen type in a 15-foot cone. Each creature in that area must make a dexterity save, taking 3d6 damage on a failed save or half as much on success. It lasts up to 1 minute.
I'm willing.
And so she goes ahead and shows you her personal spell book where she has Dragon's Breath written in. And it requires 1 hot pepper.
Yes.
Then I would like to buy quite a few of these peppers that you have, if that is possible. How much are they?
They are 5 copper apiece.
Oh, hell yeah. The whole jar. I'll give you money. Do you need money? I'll give you money. You just bought clothes. I'll give you money. I'm willing.
I would take. How many do you have?
Remember's like, I can't fucking read, but I know
I
that I
have-
can learn this.
I have about 15 that are ready to be harvested.
I will take some more, thank you.
Of course, here you are.
I'm never hitting anything ever again. For the rest of the campaign, I'm just gonna breathe fire.
How much did you say they were?
5 copper apiece, so that's gonna be 45? No, that's gonna be
15. Oh, fuck. 75? 75?
70.
No.
60. It's gonna be 60.
Can't math.
15 times 5.
Half times 5 is 25, 5 times 1 is 5 is 75.
There are 15, and they're
5, you said?
5 copper, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, 75.
75.
You were right.
Okay, cool.
I'm very bad at math, so that's a victory for me.
Good job.
How many silver is that?
20 per silver.
Yeah, it's 20 copper to 1 silver.
Oh, copper to silver? I thought you meant silver to gold.
No, it's 20 silver to gold, and then it's
10 copper to 1 silver.
So we did.
Yeah.
So 7 silver, 5
Dear
copper.
me. When you listen to this later,
Silver 5.
10 copper to a silver, 20 silver to a gold, 20 gold to a platinum. Please write this down somewhere. Dear God, please write this down somewhere. Thank you, me.
We're only gonna use it for this session, and then we get a whole new exchange rate and you're on.
Okay, so I did 7 silver, 5 copper.
Yep.
That's what I heard.
Yeah.
So wait, shoot. Okay, hold on. I gotta do math now.
It's white chocolate. I'm sorry, you don't like American chocolate.
Mm.
Here.
When you say it like
Yeah,
that,
those
it does make me sound like an asshole.
No, it doesn't. American chocolate tastes like wax.
I don't like American chocolate.
It's okay. We can go to IKEA this weekend. Okay. So y'all are doing that at the Spellworks. Where is Tenzin gone off to?
I've been poisoned.
He didn't leave, so they do their transaction.
And they like turn around and then
He goes to turn around and he realizes he stopped. And he turns around. He's like, "You wouldn't want to buy arrows for those short bows, would you?"
Yeah, we can do that.
I've got 40 arrows.
How many goes in a quiver again?
20. So I got 2 quivers full, basically.
We'll give you 2 silver.
Alright. I'm just looking to get rid of stuff at this point.
They immediately, like, put it up for sale as, like, a whole silver more than they just bought it.
Trying to profit.
Do I see anything nice for sale there?
Define nice.
Anything of
Accurate.
value that looks worth spending money on that wouldn't just be your typical dagger or what
You
have
see-
you?
For more relatable.
You see a few
English
things.
jokes.
You see some weapons that look as if they have been made from silver.
Ooh.
You see a beautiful rapier with like a jeweled hilt. You see this massive warhammer that's like hanging up on the back wall. You see a whip that is like curled around to show just how long it is, and the handle of the whip also has a few gemstones like studded around it. A lot of the weaponry that is in here isn't your normal everyday stuff. This
Right.
is, these travelers are coming into town and they have wild shit to sell. You also see a very curious silver shape amongst it all. I'm gonna draw this out for you so that you'll
Okay.
have like.
Thank you.
You best believe I'm getting that whip. I think I remember vaguely 1,000 years ago that one of Brotlead's big like aesthetic thing was gonna be nets.
Yep.
Like 1,000 years ago.
I can contest that.
I need to do that for my costume this year. I made
It
that a
looks
thing.
like this.
A gun?
It's a gun?
What do you have?
That's a very peculiar looking tool. And
Yes.
I kind of like gestured to it.
It's one of our more favorite pieces. Professor Wilson, he likes to have oddities in his collection, and that is one of his pride and joys. Now, we can't exactly figure out how to use it. It's very heavy if you hit someone with it. But he sold it to us with the understanding that he got it from a little shop in Iran.
We're going to Gun Town.
Yeehaw!
Fascinating. So you have no idea how to use it,
No, not
or what
even...
it's for.
Not even the professor. We assume it's a club. It's got this handle, and they take it down and hand it to you.
Okay, and I start examining it, and as I'm like examining it,
Yeah.
should I do an investigation check?
Yeah,
or,
go ahead and do an investigation check.
I love the
Probably
fact
not
that they're
the
like,
person
you
to
can
be doing
hit people
this,
with it and it's never
but-
accidentally shot anyone. That's good. Gun safety.
America.
Investigation.
Oh my god, is
is-
Kieran just America?
I consent to Orville Flex being
14.
14. Yeah, you go ahead and start examining it, and you figure out that, like, the back, like, clicks down, and then, like, the front actually clicks, and the whole device kind of clicks and jumps in your hand a little bit when you do that. But other than, like, these roses that are carved onto it, and what looks like something, like, scratched into the side, you really have no idea what this thing is.
This is do they react to me like pulling this
No,
trigger
they're
down
just,
and,
they've
they knew
clearly
it does
been,
that?
they're
Okay.
aware that it does this.
Okay. This is very, very peculiar. I've not personally come across anything like this, and you said it's from Garan.
Yes, that's where the professor purchased it.
Can you tell me about this professor?
Yes, Professor Nick Wilson. He owns a little shop in the heart of Giron, and he gets things from all over, and he just sells them out.
Interesting. But he did not know what it was.
No, he just thought it was an interesting shape.
But it's a weapon.
He assumes so because when you hit someone with it, it really hurts.
Well,
So-
I mean, anything heavy or hard enough hurts.
Yes, but nothing looks like this.